Welcome to Nonsense Talks with Anjaneya, a broke talk show where I talk, you talk, and we all talk. Today I'll be interviewing one of my very close friends, Shriya Kulkarni. She is an internationally rhythmic acclaimed gymnast player. She has played many championships and has won several medals. So I've known Shriya for a very long time, and I've known how hard she's worked to gain all her medals and her talents and her fame as well. So let us understand how her journey has been, with her now starting to teach younger kids in schools as well, and them also winning multiple medals. So now let's understand her journey. So hi Shriya, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. How have you been in the past few weeks?
They were a bit challenging, but
Yes.
it's okay.
Everything passes, yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, because I know you're very busy with college.
Yeah.
Her college is in the afternoon to evening, so it gets very hectic to get people on time as well. So I'll also like to acknowledge my cameraman Arya Majan. So to start off the interview, again I'll say Shriya has done a lot of hard work. She was never in school because she was always out playing matches, and I want to know, was it your parents' decision? What age did you start with gymnastics, and was it your parents' decision, or was it something that, oh, I want to do this?
So I was 4 years old, and every child at home is very hyperactive. Most of the kids are very hyperactive, and they just keep running around. And so me and my parents, we searched for hobby classes. We went for singing, dancing, drawing, etc., etc. But I never thought drawing or singing would be my calling, because I used to never sit and do something for hours to put in. So one day we went for dance class, and there one of the teachers, you might know her, everybody knows her, Fulva Khamkar, she told my mom that her calling is into gymnastics because I had a lot of flexibility in my body and I had the right physique to do it. So we went on to artistic gymnastics, where I was told that having long limbs and longer arms, I was good into rhythmic gymnastics. So then my mom took me to the classes which were held in Shivaji Park. So I went there, and it was so beautiful, like the ribbons, the apparatus was so elegant, and from those small hobby classes I started training into gymnastics.
So you started your journey, and then obviously you've participated in many competitions. So can you give me any one memorable highlight of your journey of participating in competitions so far?
So being into competitive sports for so many years, you can ask any athlete, their end goal is to represent your country. So the most memorable thing I would say was getting my India blazer for the very first time, where I was qualified for Asian Championships when I was just 14 years old. I played as a junior, which is under 16 category. So I think that was the most memorable part, that I was qualified to represent my country at a very, very young age.
That is very, very heartwarming to hear, as one of her very close friends. I remember her flaunting her.
I was in 9th grade that time.
Her flaunting her blazer everywhere. So now let's start with the interview. As I said, you've trained for so many years. You learned, you participated, you won also. So now you're teaching small kids as well. So when it comes to smaller kids, now you are on the opposite side. Now you see them as a teacher. So what ages are you teaching to start with?
So gymnastics should be started at a very young age, because as you grow up, your muscles are fully developed. So there is not a lot of scope for the flexibility to increase after certain age.
Yes, definitely.
So the more younger you start, the more it is better in the competitive field, because I think for gymnastics the peak of your performance starts from 14 years of age to maximum 20, 21, 22. After that your body just gives up, because before you're 14 you train so hard for your muscles to develop into certain categories. So it becomes very difficult after 6-7 years to maintain that physique, because
Yes.
your body keeps changing and it's not very easy. For girls, obviously, girls go through a lot of puberty changes, obviously. For guys, I'm not sure about guys yet, because I obviously teach guys also, but from a rhythmic gymnast point of view, I think girls go through a lot of changes in the body. So start younger, I would say.
So when you look at these kids, you know, a lot of, as we can say, you were gifted with longer arms and longer legs, which is a very good thing for rhythmic gymnasts. When you see kids who want to do this, but you know, are short in height, or do you have you faced that in your class when you see kids who are, you know, struggling with the height?
See,
area?
as in society there are beauty standards, in sports like gymnastics there are beauty standards, like beauty as well as physical standards. For example, rhythmic gymnasts should be, there's a very controversial saying that they should be tall, they should be very thin, they should have long arms, long neck, beautiful smile. But that is not the case. There are so many gymnasts who are not very thin, they're short, and they still perform so well. So I think
Yes.
you can just break the bar and you can climb over it, and we can break this
Yes,
stereotype.
definitely. I feel stereotypes exist in almost every field,
Everywhere.
and it is very important to break through and
Yeah.
give chances to people who may not be your typical cliche kind of type.
Correct.
So, what does a regular day in teaching when it looks like for you? Like when you go teach, what is your curriculum? How do you start your day with them?
So when I was training, we had a very big, longer hours of training. But when it comes to small kids right now with their schools and giving importance to their education first, because you know sports is so unpredictable that
Yes.
if you give everything to it and suddenly one day you just come to know that because of X reasons you cannot do it, so you don't have anything to fall back on. So obviously give importance to studies as well, because in India as of now sports is not very respected. There are not many career opportunities in sports.
Especially if it's other than cricket.
Yeah, cricket. But as an athlete also, you never know when your sporting life is going to end because of some injury or something. So my kids go to school every day. They attend their school completely. And in the evening we start around 6-7, which is where every school kid goes to their homes and start playing whatever. But yeah, we start around 6 o'clock and we end around 9. So it starts with warm up, then basic technique exercises for their elements, and then we go further on their flexibility, which is obviously needed in gymnastics. Then we do their strength and conditioning, and then we start with choreographing their routines for competitions.
So you spoke about education, and I've also seen this. To go a little off topic, you also missed a lot of school, as I can recall. So how did you balance it when it came to exams? Because we did not only have exams, we had book submissions, we had practicals. So obviously, you know, how did you make up for it? Did the school as well as your class provide any kind of
So
provisions?
school and teachers were like, they were like gods for me, because they helped me so much in my sporting life. Because without them, if I wouldn't have gotten the permission from school, I wouldn't be able to go for my competitions and practice. So yeah, school and classmates also helped me very much, like y'all helped me with a lot of study material. And yeah, what was the question again?
How
did I
do
balance?
you make up for it and balance
So I would take it into a very different turn. So my sport is only about 1 minute 30 seconds, wherein I have to show a lot of talent in that 1 minute 30 seconds. The whole years and years of hard work I have to show in that 1 minute 30 seconds. So being into a sport where the time limit is so small, I have to show a lot of things. I think that goes with studies also, saying ki, you know, the time which I'm getting to study is so less, but I have to put in so much hard work in my studies as well. So if we correlate my sport and my studies, so I had to show or put in hard work in a limited time. So I used to work smarter rather than hard working.
Because I remember you had gone to Azerbaijan, and I remember
Uzbekistan for a month.
and she were during boards or like before boards, and you were studying
for
there. I
1
remember
month.
this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, whenever I used to get
Yeah.
time, I used to study.
So basically making use of the time very smartly. Because today, as you mentioned, today anything other than cricket, it is not regarded as much with respect. And when it comes to education today, I feel it is very important to have a degree or whatever, because as you said, anything can happen. You should have something to fall back on. So recently you had gone to Kerala for a competition, and your kids also participated and they won medals. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
So I want to know, you must have been feeling very proud seeing as a teacher, seeing your kids win medals and all. So I want to know how was that practice for you? Was it even more rigorous? Did you take longer hours? And and another thing I want to talk about was you have to coordinate with their parents.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that as a young teacher?
So Kerala was right after Ganpati,
Yes.
and it was very difficult to get smaller kids into practice because they are excited when festivals are around.
Yes.
But as coaches also, it is very difficult to leave your
Work.
house and when you have everything at home, the festivities. So it's difficult for coaches as well. But when you are dedicated enough to put in the hard work as you did as an athlete, so it pulls you in that way.
Yes, definitely.
So I know that these kids are going to make their name for our state or for their parents, whatever. So eventually when the coach is motivated, the kids are motivated. So when you have to give them positive reinforcement, so you call them for practice.
Yes.
So it was rigorous. We used to train mornings and evenings, and I think after reaching some level in their sporting life, they also get serious because they know how much responsibility they have on their shoulders. And I think getting exposure for small kids is also
Very
important,
important, yes.
because they should know where they are standing. The competition should make them excited to put in the hard work.
Yes. And following up with that, now obviously you have to deal with their parents. So how, as a young coach, how do you deal with your parents? And another thing is, today when you talk about sports, sometimes you participate, sometimes you don't win. Then the parents have that feeling of, should my child continue this or should I take his name out of the class? So if that happens, or has that ever happened, then you have to reconcile with the parent and then assure them, your child is doing great, might be a bit slow, but he or she will go there. So have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, obviously parents come to me and say ki ताई ते कुठेच नाही जातात पुढे, and the typical ki किती वर्ष आम्ही दिली या sport मध्ये, still they are not getting anything. But I think patience is one thing that sports teaches you, because great things take time.
Yes.
You have to put in so many years into getting somewhere. Even in school, you don't obviously go and sit in 10th class because you have a good balance of language or maths. You have to climb up first standard, second standard. So I think parents should understand that we as coaches are also trying. We are also new in various fields for that matter. For example, me, I am a rhythmic gymnast, but I teach aerobics gymnastics. So it is a different field for me. As a coach, I am also learning. And I think parents should trust the coach with everything we put into, because we also take a lot of hard work. And when you just come and say we are pulling out because they are not going anywhere, so whatever we have planned all over the year, it just goes in waste. Yeah.
So basically they don't know what goes behind the scenes, how
Yeah.
much hard work the coach has put for the child, and obviously the child, it's up to the coach's determination, because they know what you know what it takes to be on that
Yeah.
level. So obviously you would
And
help.
we don't talk about politics that happened at competitions.
Yeah. So it obviously, you know what it takes for that, for you to go at that level. So obviously you'll strive that your child also reaches that level. So, continuing with it, I wanted to ask, you are currently pursuing your master's in sports management as well. So, how are you juggling your education? Obviously, you obviously must have some other commitments as well with that college and then teaching as well. So how do you balance it out?
So my college is in the afternoon, which is very difficult because by the time my college gets over, they have already started their training, because as I said, they start at 6 and my college ends at 6 o'clock. So it is very difficult for me to reach on time. But as I said, when they know the responsibility that they have on their shoulders, they start their practice early, because they also know that I am a student and I too have to study.
Yes.
And so they start their practice, which is a good thing. And yeah, I just go there and start with their technique.
So you go directly from college.
Yes.
So your education in sports management, has that helped you with managing, the class, as well as when you go for a competition, how to, bifurcate and make sure everything runs smoothly? Has that helped you?
Yeah, I mean, as a student, it is a very good thing that I'm getting and hands-on experience before my placement. So this experience is definitely going to count. And one more thing that is beneficial, that I can make connections,
Yes, that is very important.
because right now in India, sports management is still very niche, and there are no jobs as such, like as we get for other fields. So building a strong community and having connections is going to fetch you jobs. So I think being in this sport and being at this level, I would say, I have a lot of connections where if I want to stay into gymnastics as a field, and if I want to, make gymnastics as renowned as cricket, I would obviously want to do that. So yeah, I think this is going to help me a lot.
Definitely. So, talking about your learning, how was your daily routine of going to class, learning? Obviously, then you participated in competitions. And how did your coach help you, motivate you, and all of that?
So I would give my coaches a lot of credit. Like I said, that coaches do put in a lot of hard work. It is not just in class that we put, because we have a lot of pre-planning. For example, me, I don't know what my coaches, how they taught, but what I do is, for example, I know a particular gymnast, so I know her weaknesses, I know her strengths, so I pre-plan at home or wherever I am, what exercises should I give her or him. So there is a lot of hard work on the field as well as off the field.
Yes.
So I would definitely give lots and lots of credits to my coaches, because they helped me with a lot of stuff. But I think the difference in my coaching and what my coaches taught me is that, I give my students a voice to speak, because I would not know what a 9-year-old would be going through, because times are changing.
Yes.
And even they, as kids, there is a generational gap, obviously.
Yes, definitely.
So if you want a good rapport with your student, you should obviously be their friend first, because they are not going to open up, they are not going to come to you when they have difficulties if you are very rigid. And it is very difficult for an athlete to keep all his or her emotions inside, because you're performing in so much pressure, obviously expectation from yourself, your coaches, your parents. So it is very difficult to handle so many emotions, and you don't want to storm within you when you have storms outside. So I think having a good rapport is one thing coaches should, have with their students. Listen to their students, which my coaches never did. Yeah.
So, talking about rhythmic gymnastics, obviously it is a very flexible sport. Your body has to be very, very flexible, and when you do intense workout and all of that, there are injuries that are bound to happen. So obviously had a knee injury a long time back. So for you to get back to it, obviously, how was that experience for you?
So I had various injuries, big and massive injuries. But for that matter, with my knee injury, I was still in the sport while I was doing it, and it was, I think, Asian Championships where I actually injured my knee while performing. So after that, it was very difficult for me to get back to the competitive field. But I think having, even for that matter, having a rapport with your doctors, your physios, is going to help you a lot, because you should, as an athlete, you should tell your doctors what went wrong exactly, so that you are treated very well.
Yeah.
For doctors, they have a very generic view towards injuries. When you explain them what exactly happened on the field, what were you doing, so that will help you with your recovery. And
Yes.
after your athlete is injured, I would recommend for other coaches as well, as I do with my kids, give them time to rest.
Very important.
Many of the coaches don't understand the importance of giving time to their gymnasts. They expect that the athlete should be ready for any competition, though it is 2 weeks, 3 weeks after the injury. They expect you to stand on your 2 feet in 2 days, which is not the case, because you never know how much the athlete is affected because of that injury, mentally, physically, emotionally,
Yes.
everything. So never force your athlete to do and perform, because it's going to create a havoc. Like it happened in my case when I had the ankle fracture. My coaches did not listen to me, and they told me to perform the highest value of the jumps which we had. This is going very technical, but yeah. So she told me to perform, and that day itself, from hairline fracture to stress fracture. So it was really bad. I had to stop my sport because of that. So I would say that, giving your athletes time to recover is very important.
So one question that was bugging in my mind was when you talk about rhythmic gymnastics, the outfits that you wear, the leotards. Do you think that ever occurs as a problem in a way of portraying? Because you have young girls wearing those outfits to 21, 22-year-olds as well. So do you think that these outfits with movements, but at the same time with putting young girls in such outfits, is that a problem? Do you ever think that?
I don't think it is a problem internationally. I will back it up with my experience as well in India, where I had been to Haryana for nationals, and you know how conservative Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, like
States are, yes.
So I was just 14. I was playing under 14, and I had an experience where I was performing, and a huge bunch of boys, Haryanvi boys, entered our stadium. It was free of cost. There are no tickets for national championships. So they entered because rhythmic gymnastics are obviously very beautiful to watch. But then seeing young girls in those leotards, where the leotards are V-cut and very short, they started cheering in a very inappropriate way, calling us with jalebi bai, and it was very bad. The girls which were performing, especially the Maharashtrian girls, they were all awkward, and that was hampering the performance as well. But I think when you
to pause, so the security did not take any.
No.
Oh.
For rhythmic gymnastics, there's no security, because people don't know what rhythmic gymnastics is. So it doesn't work as an IPL match where there are bouncers all over to protect your players. There is nothing in rhythmic gymnastics as such. But they were obviously thrown out after a while, because it was hampering the performance, where gymnasts complained that they don't want to perform. But internationally, I don't think there is a problem, because people have a open mindset, and rhythmic gymnastics is still very niche in India, I would say. So globally, people know about the sport. People know what is gymnastics. I think after Deepa Karmakar's success and Pranati Naik, they all also know about gymnastics, and which is, I would say, for a cricketer, would you tell not to wear half sleeve? That is just very random, but that is your uniform.
Yeah.
So you have to wear that. And with rhythmic gymnastics, there are points. In every discipline of gymnastics, there are points for your outfit. Whatever the code of points, which is a book of rules. It says, it defines what categories your leotard should fall under.
Oh.
Yeah. So nude colors are banned in aerobics gymnastics. So if you say that, I'm going to use skin color in my leotard, it's not allowed, because then it is portraying in a very sexual way. So every part of your body should be covered. Even though they are short, everything should be covered. It should not go under malfunctions of your outfits, because then that is going to
ruin.
Yeah. So, and I mean, there are longer leotards you can wear, but
it will restrict the movement.
Yeah, it may. But usually girls prefer shorter, because then it gives you the freedom of movements and
yeah. So to end this wonderful interview, you've had a tremendous journey, starting so young, participating, winning, and now teaching, and now you have taken a short break from teaching your kids. So how has that been for you?
So as I said that this experience is going to count a lot. So when it comes to managing a team, everything falls on the coach as of now. So right from planning where the team is going to stay, their flights, trains, whatever, it is on my head. And at some point it becomes very overwhelming, because I have to fight on all the fields. Parents come and ask me that, have you done the booking, as if it is my responsibility that your kid is playing. The parents do not support as of now, because there's still lack of understanding of the child going and playing. So if, as a sports management student, if we have a team where the team looks after the accommodation, the flights, the everything, then hospitality department kind of, so it becomes very easier for the coach, so that the coach can focus on the performance aspect and not the other things, because then it hampers your mindset as well. And being a student,
it is very overwhelming.
Because I have my career to look upon.
Yeah. So as a young coach, it is very difficult, because you have to plan everything.
If ever this sports management field turns into a very glamorous field again, like law or engineering, I would want a team behind me working on the behind the scenes, and which will create employment as well.
Yes.
And
so thank you so much for giving me your time for this interview. I know it has been very commendable as a friend, as a citizen of this nation, for you to represent our nation as well. So we'll see you in the next episode.